The lighthouse, without a keeper. On the jagged cliffs of the northern Scottish coast stands Blackthorn Lighthouse, a weather-beaten tower that hasn't cast light in over 100 years. Yet, on stormy nights, passing sailors still report seeing its faint beam sweep across the ocean. A cold, bluish glow that pierces through rain and fog. They say it's a ghost light. They say it's searching. They say the keeper never left. The year was 1913. Blackthorn was manned by a solitary keeper, Ewan Calder, a man of few words but strong habits. P had tended the light for 13 years, without complaint. Locals respected him, not because he was friendly, but because he was dependable. The lamp was never late. The signal was never missed. Ships passed safely. That was enough. The lighthouse was isolated, reachable only by a narrow cliff trail or by boat. Supply deliveries came twice a month, and UN accepted them without conversation. Rumors began to circulate that he spoke more to the sea than to people. Children dared each other to run to the lighthouse gate at dusk and leave stones in a line. Sometimes the stones disappeared by morning. Sometimes they didn't. Ewan's journal, recovered years later from the base of the tower, spoke little of his daily life. Just weather conditions, equipment checks, rare boat sightings. But as the entries progressed, something shifted. The writing grew slanted, the margins tighter, the tone less technical, more ... uncertain. March 6th. The lamp extinguished itself during calm. No explanation. March 11th. Heard footsteps on the upper stair. Was alone. March 15th. Seabirds avoid the lantern room. Even gulls sense something. March 20th. She knocks at the glass. Every night. Now. Always. At 2:17. Locals remember the night the light went out. A storm rolled in from the Atlantic. Sudden and fierce. The fishing fleet had left early that morning, unaware. Without Blackthorn's beam, they had no warning. 3 boats were lost. 9 men drowned. When the rescue party arrived at dawn, they found the door to the lighthouse ajar. Inside, everything was intact. Oil stocked, machinery working. The lamp itself unharmed. Pie. The only clue. P's coat folded neatly beside the staircase, and a single wet footprint leading up, not down. The spiral steps. The coroner declared it a disappearance. Poof. The town mourned their dead. The lighthouse was sealed, its function handed over to a modern light farther down the coast. Decades later, in 1974, a retired naval historian named Elsbeth Crane became fascinated with the story. She spent 2 summers interviewing villagers, combing archives, and petitioning the Coast Guard for access to the tower. Eventually, she was granted a one-night stay. She brought with her a tape recorder, notebook, and a heavy oil lantern. The power had long been cut from Blackthorn, but she preferred it that way. She believed if spirits existed, they responded to silence, not technology. That night, the fog rolled in thick as wool. The cliffs below were hidden. The only sounds were the wind and the occasional shudder of sea against stone. At exactly to 17 a.m., she lit the lantern and climbed to the top. The lamp room was circular, enclosed by thick, salt-streaked glass. The old lens still sat there, massive and lifeless. But the moment she set down the lantern, the room grew colder. The tape recorder clicked on by itself, then stopped, then clicked again. And in that silence, Elsbeth heard breathing, slow, steady, just behind her. She turned. Nothing, only glass. Then came a knock. One soft, deliberate tap on the outside of the glass. 40 feet above the ground, where no person could possibly reach. Then another. Elsbeth froze. She didn't run. She didn't scream. She only whispered, "Ewan, are you still watching?" The light flared. For one brief moment, the ancient lens came alive, glowing with a pale blue radiance. It turned, slowly, across the sea, then faded. When she descended, the oil lantern was still full. The recorder never captured a sound. In her note, written by shaky hand, were just 6 words. He never left the light. She left the lighthouse the next morning and never returned. She later published her findings in a journal of maritime folklore, describing her experience in academic terms, but always with a hesitant tone, like she knew it was real, but feared giving it form. If in the years since, the lighthouse has gained a quiet infamy, ghost hunters and amateur explorers attempt to visit, though most are turned back by sudden storms or the unnerving sensation of being watched. Some claim the light no longer appears, that it stopped when Elsbeth visited. Others insist it still shines, but only for those who have lost something to the sea. To this day, Blackthorn Lighthouse remains unmanned, yet sailors swear its beam still cuts through fog during the worst storms. Locals avoid the cliff trail entirely. Some say Ewan became part of the lighthouse, that his soul was claimed by the sea. But others whisper something stranger, that the thing in the light room was never Ewan at all, just something that needed a keeper. And it's still waiting.